She called me her starter boyfriend in front of her entire marketing team. So I let her finish the networking event as a single woman. Now, 6 months later, she's realized that the upgrade she chased was actually a downgrade, and she's begging for another chance. As you listen, ask yourself, is honesty an excuse for cruelty? And at what point does ambition just become ungratefulness? I've always been the guy who enjoys the background. I'm a technical writer. I take complex, messy information and make it clear, usable, and invisible. I don't need the spotlight. I just need things to work. For 3 years, I applied that same philosophy to my relationship with Sarah. When I met Sarah, she was an unpaid intern with a mountain of student debt and a dream of breaking into high-end fashion marketing. It's a brutal industry. It eats people alive. For those 3 years, I was her sanctuary. I paid the rent for our apartment so she could use her paycheck for the appropriate wardrobe her job demanded. I proofread her pitches at 2 a.m. I listened to her vent about toxic bosses, jealous colleagues, and the pressure to look perfect. I was the soft place to land. I never viewed this as a burden. I viewed it as investing in us. I thought we were a team. I was the foundation, she was the skyscraper. You need both to stand tall. But as Sarah started climbing the ladder, the dynamic shifted. It wasn't sudden, it was a slow erosion. When she got her first big promotion, she didn't come home to celebrate with me. She went out with her team and texted me at midnight not to wait up. When we did go out, she started critiquing me. Do you have to wear that watch? It looks cheap. Maybe you should tell people you're in communications instead of technical writing. It sounds sexier. You're just so settled. Don't you want more? I brushed it off. I told myself the stress of her new position was getting to her. She was surrounded by sharks. Maybe she felt the need to sharpen her teeth, even on me. But deep down, the silence was growing. I started to feel like an accessory that no longer matched her outfit. The breaking point was a Friday night in November. Sarah's agency was hosting a massive launch party for a luxury watch brand. It was a big deal. Open bar, rooftop venue, influencers everywhere. She asked me to come, but with a caveat. Please, just try to blend in. Don't bore people with the manual writing stuff. I put on my best suit, one I bought specifically for her events, and went. I played the role. I held her purse while she took photos. I nodded politely while men in three-piece suits talked about crypto and market shares. Sarah was in her element, glowing, charming, and utterly intoxicated by the atmosphere.
Around 10 p.m., I was standing near a high-top table where Sarah was holding court with 3 of her senior colleagues and a client. I was close enough to hear, but far enough back that they didn't notice me immediately. One of the senior VPs, a guy named Julian who smiled like he wanted to sell you a bridge, gestured toward the crowd. So, Sarah, you're killing it this quarter. But what about the personal life? When are we going to see a ring on that finger? Or are you holding out for a CEO? The group laughed. I stepped forward, about to join them, but Sarah's voice stopped me cold. She swirled her champagne and let out a light, dismissive laugh. Oh, please, Mark is sweet. He's been great for the developmental phase. But let's be real, he's a starter boyfriend. You know, the kind you have while you're getting your life together before you find the real deal. The air left my lungs. The client raised an eyebrow. Ouch, does he know he's a placeholder? Sarah shrugged, unaware I was 5 feet behind her. He's comfortable. It's like wearing sweatpants. You love them at home, but you don't wear them to the gala. Eventually, you have to upgrade to formal wear. The table erupted in laughter. I stood there, freezing. It wasn't just an insult. It was a negation of 3 years of my life. The rent I paid, the tears I dried, the late nights, it was all just sweatpants to her. Something to be discarded when she was ready to show off. I didn't cause a scene. I didn't scream. I simply walked up to the table. The laughter died instantly as they saw me. Sarah's face went from smug to horrified in a nanosecond. Mark, she stammered, I didn't see you there. Clearly, I said. My voice was steady, which surprised even me. I'd hate to ruin the gala with my sweatpants energy, Sarah. So I'll just remove myself so you can start looking for that formal wear.
"Babe, wait, it was a joke," she started, reaching for my arm. I stepped back. "Here's the thing about starter boyfriends, Sarah. They eventually leave so you can learn the lesson you actually need."
I took the house keys, my house keys, out of my pocket, detached the fob for the apartment building, and placed it gently on the table next to her champagne flute. "You'll need to find somewhere else to stay tonight. The locks will be changed by morning." I walked out. I didn't look back. I took an Uber home, packed her essentials into 2 suitcases, and left them with the doorman. Then I called a locksmith. The fallout was predictable. Her phone calls came in waves. First, she was angry. "How dare you embarrass me like that?" Then she was bargaining. "I was just trying to fit in with them. You know how they are." Finally, she was crying. I blocked her on everything. I spoke only through our landlord to get her name off the lease. The silence that followed was difficult, but necessary. I realized I had been lonely for a long time, even while she was sleeping next to me. I had been serving a person who viewed me as a utility, not a partner. About 2 weeks later, a mutual friend sent me a screenshot. Sarah had made her relationship official with Julian, the VP from the party. The caption read, "Power couple. Finally found someone who matches my energy." It stung, but it also confirmed everything. She didn't make a mistake. She revealed her strategy. I focused on my work. I saved the money I used to spend on her. I bought a new car. I started hiking again. I remembered who I was before I became her support staff. Fast forward 5 months. The rumors started trickling in. Julian was a shark in business and a shark in relationships. He was controlling. He belittled her career to boost his own. He flirted openly with other women. The power couple facade was cracking. Then came the inevitable crash. Julian dumped her for a client's daughter, someone with more connections and more money. Sarah was left not just single, but humiliated in the exact social circle she sacrificed me to impress. Last Tuesday, I found her sitting on the steps of my apartment building when I got home from work. She looked tired. The designer clothes were there, but the glow was gone. "Mark," she said, standing up, "can we just talk? 5 minutes?" I stood on the sidewalk, my gym bag over my shoulder. "You have too." "I made a mistake," she said, her voice trembling. "Julian, he was awful. He made me feel small every day. I didn't realize what I had with you until it was gone. You were the only one who ever actually loved me for me, not for what I could do for you." She stepped closer, eyes wet. "I'm sorry about what I said. I got caught up in the moment. I want to come home. I want us back." It would have been easy to cave. She looked vulnerable. I remembered the good times, the early years. But then I remembered the laughter at that table. I remembered sweatpants. "Sarah," I said gently, "you didn't make a mistake. You made a choice. You viewed our relationship as a stepping stone. You used me to get to a place where you thought you didn't need me anymore." "I was stupid," she cried. "I know that now. I'm ready to settle down. I want you." I shook my head. "That's the problem. You're here because you crashed. You're looking for safety again. You want the sweatpants back because the formal wear was uncomfortable and expensive." She flinched. "I'm not a safety net, Sarah, and I'm certainly not a starter pack. I'm a person. And I deserve to be someone's first choice, not their fallback plan when the upgrade fails." "So that's it?" she asked, a flash of her old anger returning. "You're going to punish me forever for one bad night?" "I'm not punishing you," I said, walking past her to the door. "I'm simply moving on to my own upgrade, a life where I'm respected." I went inside. I didn't feel triumph. I didn't feel joy. I just felt light. The weight of trying to be enough for someone who wanted something else was finally gone. Lesson 1. When people show you their true colors in a moment of arrogance, believe them. That is who they are when they think they don't need you. Lesson 2. Settling isn't about being with a calm, reliable partner. Settling is staying with someone who makes you feel like you have to audition for their love every day. Lesson 3. Never let someone treat you like a renovation project. You are not a fixer-upper for their ego. Lesson 4. The upgrade grass is rarely greener. It's usually just artificial turf laid over concrete. Looks good from a distance, but it's hard and cold when you actually land on it. Lesson 5.
Walking away is the highest form of self-respect. It says, I love myself more than I need your validation. So tell me, if you were standing at that table, holding her drink while she called you a starter boyfriend, would you have caused a scene, or would you have walked away in silence? And if she came back to your doorstep after the world chewed her up, would you have opened the door? Let me know in the comments below.